Hello, hi, and welcome to my channel. I literally finished a book this morning, so naturally I've got to start another one, and that means another reading vlog of a series that I've started. But this one, I actually read the first book this year. What a concept. Who is she? I don't know. So I am going to be reading Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the sequel to Caraval, which I read a couple of months ago and loved. Absolutely loved. I gave it 5 stars. It was such a fun time. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. So that book was about a girl called Scarlett who lived with a very manipulative and abusive father. And the only kind of solace that she got was when her and her sister Tella would hear stories from their grandmother about this illusion game show called Caraval. And so Scarlett had always wanted to go. And one day, I think she's 18, I don't know. But one day she gets tickets from Legend himself, the guy who runs it. And so she's kind of reluctant because she's like, oh, we'll get in trouble. But Tella, her sister, is like, we're going. She just makes that decision. She's like, we're going. So when they get there, Tella disappears. And Scarlett is forced to participate in this game with this guy, Julian, who she doesn't know and she certainly doesn't trust. And things get so interesting. Now, my fear for this book, for Legendary, is that the first book was about Scarlett and Julian, and I loved them. And I'm pretty sure that this one's going to be about Tella, the sister. Now, I have nothing against Tella. I liked her fine enough. But we all know that I don't love multiple POVs. And I don't love that the first book made me fall in love with Scarlett and Julian. And now I'm going to have to follow a completely different character. I'm not happy. I fully anticipate this being a good time. Because the first one, I didn't know what was real, what was an illusion, and there were so many twists that I did not see coming, or that I thought I had figured out halfway through and was just completely wrong. So I know it's going to be a good time. I just don't love that I'm going to have to, be introduced to new people's minds. I don't like that. My social anxiety, no. I don't even want to be introduced to new characters. That's how bad it is. I'm turning red just thinking about it because that's how I feel about characters. That's why I want to stick with the same ones throughout the series. Because getting in a whole new mindset of another one, I'm like, so much work. So, be prepared for some thoughts. Some thoughts, some feelings, probably some rants. I'm really hoping I like this, but I'm not going to be holding my breath. Let's just say that. Okay, I'll be pleasantly surprised if I do, but I'm not super hopeful. Okay, so I'm getting ready to go to bed, which I'm so excited about because before bed I've been watching Heartstopper, which is the cutest show to ever exist. I've only been allowing myself to watch 1 episode per night because I don't want it to end. But it's so cute. I literally watch with the blanket pulled up to my face, just muttering oh my gosh, it's so cute. I love everyone. I need a season 2. I've not read the graphic novels that it's apparently based off of. So I can't really do a comparison or anything, but it's so cute. I absolutely adore it. So going into the book, Legendary, I am about 40% through right now, and I'm liking it. I'm definitely liking it. I am intrigued. I am interested in Tella's story. I can see myself shipping Dante and Tella. As of right now, I basically feel like Tella in that I don't know if I can trust him. Like, is it a game? Like, what's real? Which is basically how I felt in the first book. Like, I didn't know what was real, what was an illusion, who you could trust, and that's basically how Tell is feeling right now. So I'm liking Dante. I'm hoping that he's a good guy and that he's actually helping her, but I'm not going to hold my breath at this point. I will say, though, that I am a little bit frustrated with the lack of Scarlet. Things are happening with her, and I'm basically just, I don't even get to hear about it unless, like, Tell is actually talking to her or somebody, like, tells Tella what's going on, which is so frustrating to me. Like, this is the only time you'll ever hear this, but, like, dual POVs. I'm just saying. I would have loved that because it's so frustrating to me when a series like has a book about one character, makes me fall in love enough that I want to continue the series and read the second one, and then it basically is like, well, actually, we're gonna give you a completely different character. So frustrating to me. So yeah, I'm really liking the book. I'm definitely interested. I want to know what's going on. I like Tella. But also, like, I'm just kind of frustrated because give me Scarlet, okay? I want to know what's going on with her and Julian as well. I'm just saying. Am I just going to start updating all my vlogs at night before bed? Probably. Probably, yes. And I'm probably going to be wearing the same nightshirt while I do it. Yeah, so it's almost Heartstopper time. Really excited. I'm going to watch my one episode, and then I've just been really anxious and depressed today, so it's looking like a comfort watch night, which means normal people. Here we come. It's going to be great. Marianne and Connell. Why they bring me comfort, I don't know. I'm sad and anxious, so why not watch sad and anxious people? It's my go-to. I don't know why, but here we are. Now, as for the book, I'm like 60% through right now, and I'm so invested at this point. Like, I feel like I'm flying through this as quickly as I do because, you know, I get really into the things that I read, and so I don't like to finish them quickly. But I feel like I'm going through this pretty quickly for me. I would say the biggest thing that I'm freaking out about is who is Legend? Who is Legend? That is the question that we've all been wondering for 2 books now. And but just back it up. So when I read the first book, Caraval, I was pretty sure that I knew who it was. Like, I had my theories, and I was pretty sure. I'm not going to say who it is, because I don't want to spoil anything, but I was convinced I knew who it was. And I think it was like halfway through the book, I thought it had been revealed that I was right, and I was so excited that I had, like, guessed it correctly, and then I was not right. Well, actually, I may still be right. I don't know. I'm not gonna say who I thought it was, but in the first one, they did not. I mean, is that a spoiler? They do not reveal who it is, obviously, as I'm in the second book still wondering. But yeah, so I'm in the second book, I have my theories, and I just got to a part that I'm like, should I have expected that? Yes. Did I? No. Does that make me stupid? Probably. Yeah. But who knows if that's even going to be real? If that's even going to be the direction they go? What is real? What is another real? Thing? We all know I am steadfast with my ships. Like, I'm loyal to the end. I don't waver. I don't change my mind. Like, if I ship them, I ship them. I'm going down with that ship, okay? And so here's me, like, setting sail on the, well, I was already set sail on the Julian and Scarlet ship, but now here I am setting sail on the Dante and Tella ship, and I'm gonna be devastated if they don't work out. I feel like at this point I'm in the exact same situation as Scarlet and Tella, where I'm like, is it real? Like, is this just a game? Are they just using them? Or is it real? Like, do they really like each other? Do they, like, are my ships real? Are they real? I'm still shipping them. But I'm, like, exactly where the sisters are, where I'm like, can I trust them? And I'm 60% through. And I'm like, and I'm already trying to think, like, what the third book is going to be about. I'm a mess, okay? I need to go. It's comfort watch time. Okay. So, something happened when I was reading tonight. And I'm going to try to explain this without spoiling anything. It's something between Tella and Jax. So if you know, you know. I feel like I can't even explain who Jax is without spoiling something. But if you know, you know. So something happened and it doesn't make sense. I'm like, make it make sense. It was to the point where I read it and then I read further, like literally like 40 pages more. And I kept thinking about it. I was like, it doesn't make sense. So I literally went back and reread it to see if I had missed something, if I had like skipped a sentence, an explanation. And no, I did not. It doesn't make sense. So without spoiling, something happened and the explanation for it just, like, was there one? And at first I was like, okay, maybe, like, it doesn't have to be immediate. But I'm like, they never said that. Like, if it, like, why wouldn't it have been immediate? That was my thinking. Because I thought that was going to happen. But it didn't. It didn't. This event, okay, we got to back up. I got to figure out a way how to say this without spoiling. Let me back up. Okay, so something happens at the beginning of this book that's like a huge plot point. It literally is like the entire conflict of the book for Tella. And when it happened, I thought that the consequence of it was going to be something. And they were like, no, that's not it. And Tella has, we'll say, side effects from this consequence. And it literally is like all throughout the book, these like side effects. Okay. And so we're like towards the end of the book now. Literally, I am like 40 pages from the end of this book. And they're like, well, actually, what I thought originally was going to happen, yeah, that's what happened. And I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense because she's had these side effects the entire freaking book. So how can you sit there and tell me, why wouldn't it have been immediate? Which is fine if it's not, but like I want an explanation. Like, why wasn't it immediate? And that's what I went back to look for like some explanation as to why it wasn't immediate. Because I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't Tella, like maybe it was Scarlet. And then I was like, well, no, because that still doesn't explain the freaking side effects. Like, why would they happen and then why would they go away if it wasn't Tella and it was Scarlet instead? make it make sense. Make it make sense. And so I'm really hoping there's an explanation for it at the end because it's driving me crazy. Okay, so I finished Legendary. I finished it. And normally I would have the book. I would hold it up. It would be so nice. But the book is actually sitting by my dogs and they're sleeping. And if I go to get it, it's going to wake them up. I don't want to deal with that. So I'm just going to carry on. Okay? But pretend that, that I'm holding the book. Okay? So I finished Legendary. And I'm going to give it 4 stars. I'm going to give it 4 stars. There were some things I liked, loved even, and there were some things that made me so angry, I just don't even know how to handle it. 4 stars. Not as good as the Let's start with the good. Let's start with what I liked. I won't say I'll eat my words, because I never had a problem with Tella. That was never the issue. The issue, well, I thought we were going into the positive, but I guess we're jumping right into the negative. The issue was that I didn't like that the first book was about Scarlet, made me fall in love with her, made me ship her and Julian, made me like invested and want to continue with the series, and then the next book was like, just kidding, it's going to be about Tella. I never had a problem with Tella. I liked her just fine, but I didn't like that there was that switch. So I will say that I loved Tella. I loved Tella. I liked her fine in the first book, but this one definitely made me love her. Like, I love Tella. I love her. And you know what I love even more? Dante and Tella. I love them. I honestly think that I like Dante and Tella. I ship them more than Julian and Scarlet. Did anyone expect that? Did anyone see that coming? I don't know. My hair is falling out. But I do. I love them. I love them so much. They're so cute. I ship it so hard. I love them. That was my favorite part of the book, was Dante and Tella. Is anyone surprised? They shouldn't be. They surely should not be. But unfortunately, that about ends the good stuff. So like I said, I did not care for the fact that it switched characters, like, in the series. Did not like that, even though I loved Tella. Even though I loved Tella and Dante's story more than Julian and Scarlet's story. It doesn't change the fact that I was annoyed. It doesn't change the fact that at the end of the first book, I was excited to see what was going to happen with Scarlet. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to see Julian and Scarlet like fall in love all over again. Like, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And you know what? They did my girl Scarlet so dirty in this book, because was she even in it? Barely. She was barely in it. She had like no storyline. No storyline. And the very little that she did have was basically just told to us. It was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. I'm like, why'd you have to do my girl Scarlet like that? Why? When she finally did get a storyline at the end, we'll get into the end later. We'll get into the end later because I've got some feelings and none of them are good. So, yeah, so I was mad about the whole Scarlet thing. The other thing that I was upset about was the twist. So one of the things that I loved about the first book was that I never knew what was going to happen. I had my guesses, and I was always wrong. Like, there were so many twists and turns. What was real? What wasn't? Like, it was such a fun time. And the second book had that, but I literally guessed every single twist. And it wasn't bad, because the twists were always in my favor. Like, they were always things that I wanted to happen, so I wasn't mad about it. But it did kind of take a little bit of the fun out of it, because I literally guessed everything. Like I was right about everything. And you know, it didn't feel as good to be right about everything. I don't know why. But it didn't. It felt better to be wrong in the first one than right. Even though I loved all of the twists that happened. Even though I loved them, I guessed them all. I'm also going to sit here and tell you that they surely did not explain what I was going on about earlier. About being confused. Am I just dumb? Am I just dumb? Like, am I the only person who doesn't understand? Like, is everybody else fine with this and it's just me who doesn't get it? Like, does not understand why she had side effects throughout the entire book? For them all of a sudden to just go away? Am I the only one? Apparently so. Apparently so, because there was zero explanation for that. And it didn't feel like it was something that the book thought was, like, open-ended. So, like, I'm really not expecting an explanation in the third book. Like, it was just like, I guess I'm just too dumb to grasp what was going on, or, like, what the explanation was for this, because it surely was not explained to me, and I'm still like, what even? I don't understand. I don't understand. But the thing that cemented this as a 4 for me was at the end of the book, I could have ripped my pages out. I could. So mad. So mad. You know I hate love triangles. I hate them. I despise them. Is it my least favorite trope? No, but I do not care for it at all. And here's why. Because it's me. I know who I'm going to ship sometimes before I even open the book. I'm going to be honest. Right? I know who I'm shipping. And I do not waver. I am not torn. I'm not like, oh, who should they pick? No, I know who they should pick. And I get mad when they don't. So the reason I hate love triangles is because I am never torn. Ever. I can't think of one single time there was a love triangle where I liked both of them. Does not exist. Does not exist. So when there is a love triangle, it drives me nuts, because that means that there is going to be several times within the book that I am just going to be annoyed. I'm going to be hate reading because I don't want to read about my no true pairing. I don't want to read it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to imagine it. So it sucks because it's literally going in knowing that there are going to be parts of the book that I am not going to enjoy. And you know what this book did? This book not only gave me one love triangle, but two. I reached the end of this book and both Scarlett and Tella were in a love triangle. Why? What did I do to deserve this? Why? Why you gotta do me so dirty like this? So bad. And now I'm like thinking, I'm like, what is the third book even gonna be? What is it even gonna be? Because the first one was Scarlett, the second one was Tella. I'm like, I hope and pray that the third is like a dual POV with Scarlett and Tella. I hope, I pray, I have no idea, and I'm scared because I need both of them, and it's the only time you're ever gonna hear me say that, but like, I do. I'm literally so mad my hair is like just a disaster. It's just falling out. It just can't even handle the mess that I am over this book right now. Oh my gosh, so mad. So mad. I will say though, there was a moment at the beginning of this book where Dante says something, and it literally starts this whole mess. Okay. It literally starts the whole conflict for this book with, like, the Jax stuff. And after having read this, I'm like, was that the biggest shipper moment that I just... Because I thought he was saying it to, like, kind of play a joke, and now I'm like, What if it was an inside joke, like in his head, and he said it because he wanted it to be like a self-fulfilling prophecy? If you've read this book, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're like, oh my god. I'm like, can she keep that title? Can she keep it? Because it's kind of true now. I mean, well, it could be true. He wants it to be true. I want it to be true. I want to read this third book, but I am scared. I'm scared. I want them both to have their happy endings with Julian and Dante. So as you can see, I had a lot of feelings. I had a lot of feelings about this book. I'm ultimately going to give it 4 stars because I definitely preferred Caraval over Legendary. I love Dante and Tella. I think I love them more than Julian and Scarlet, but the rest of the book, as much fun as I had, it just did not measure up, in my opinion, which makes me super scared for the third one. But yeah, I'm scared. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, please do, because I will continue to be making these reading vlog videos. Can't stop, won't stop. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you probably in the next reading vlog. Bye.